Hi guys, this is Dr. Cree. I am your board certified family medicine physician, and I'm here to help everyday overwhelmed people. Somebody's got to be overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Learn to live a healthy, happy, whole life. Today we're going to be talking about monkeypox. I got my notebook today, guys, so because I wrote lots and lots of notes down. So pass this word along, pass it along to others. And this is going to be broadcast to a radio station, so I'm not going to do my usual formal hellos and stuff like that. Thank you for joining, but I will come back in the comments after the live is over and talk. We're just going to jump right on in there. My practice is Brownstone Healthcare in Birmingham, Alabama, and we're going to be talking about monkeypox is here. What should we do now? So I made the post earlier today that monkeypox had officially, it's officially here in Birmingham. I think that it's been here for a couple of weeks. However, there's a lot of testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? She said, can I speak louder? Very low. Let me turn my, oh, my volume is down. Is this better? Can y'all hear me now? T. Williams, can you hear me? Let me know if you hear me any better before I get started talking. Still low? Still low? Still low? We can hear you. Somebody says we can hear. Can barely hear you. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Hello, can you hear me? Still low? I don't know what else to do at this point. Because I'm turning my volume up. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Okay, guys. Let's talk about monkeypox. I'll also do a post with some notes. The transmission. Let's talk about transmission. How did we get here, right? We got here, guys, because monkeypox is originally originated. The original origin was in animals, right? So it can be transmitted from animals to humans. Okay, how so, Dr. Cree? It can be from a scratch, from a bite. These are things that that your animal or an animal can have, and then the human then gets the monkeypox. This is something that's usually seen in countries like Africa, but now here we are in 2022, seeing it in America as well. So from once it's gone from animals to humans. So either you were scratched or bit, or you could have eaten some contaminated food or meat and then end up getting the monkeypox. Transmission then becomes, let me put my charger in. The human transmission is skin to skin, direct skin to skin contact. So we got skin to skin contact. That means you may be cuddling with the person, you may be kissing them, you may be hugging them, but you got some real intimate contact that you're having. Or you're having prolonged face-to-face conversation time. You're having prolonged, you close in each other's face, and we got those droplets that we just getting spit on each other. And so now, these are ways that we can transmit it, okay? Exposure, let's talk about exposure. Once you're exposed to monkeypox, you can start seeing the symptoms within 3 weeks. I need somebody to write that down. 3 weeks, y'all. That's a long time. So think about when you were exposed to COVID, you can start to have symptoms within, 2 to 4 days. This you can start seeing, it can be time of exposure to 3 weeks later. That's a very long time. So 3 weeks is a long time. And what are our symptoms? Our symptoms can be flu-like illness. Very similar to what we're seeing with COVID, right? So you can have fevers, you can have chills, headaches, body aches, enlarged lymph nodes. No, you can have lymph nodes enlarged under your arm, lymph nodes enlarged in your under your jaw and in your throat area, in your groin area. So you got extreme tiredness. Doesn't it sound like some COVID symptoms as well? So I said headache, body aches, fatigue. And if you have flu-like illness, you can start seeing the rash within 1 to 4 days after you have that kind of cold, I don't feel really good. The rash, let's talk about the rash. The rash can be in the genitals area. It can be a painless sore on the penis or the vagina. It can look like a herpes outbreak. It can be in your anus area. It could be in your genitals. It could be on your chest. It could be on your hands. In medicine, if we think rash on hands and feet, we're thinking syphilis. Now we have to think monkeypox, right? So the rash can be just about anywhere. So the rash can be painless. The rash can hurt. Yes, in the mouth area as well. It can be around your mouth. You could think that it's a cold sore or inside of your mouth. So the rash can be painless. It can be painful. It can be itchy. So you're talking about a gamut. So remember, we got flu-like symptoms. The rash can occur 1 to 4 days after having these flu-like illness. And then the rash can be in your genital area, in your anal area, stomach, chest, face, mouth. It can be anywhere, hands and feet. So the rash can look anywhere from like a little pimple to a blister to big old, pox looking things. Y'all remember did everybody here have chicken pox before? I know there's a certain generation of people who just got the chicken pox vaccine and you don't know what chicken pox was like. So usually with chicken pox, you had a sore too, and it was so contagious. They were like vesicles, like water filled, clear water was inside of these bumps. And then for us, my brother or some baby that my grandmama kept had the chicken pox. She made all of us come over. We all got the chicken pox at the exact same time. She rubbed a sock or something on him, and she rubbed us too. So we all had the chicken pox at the same time. This looks like chicken pox on crack, y'all. Like, no exaggeration. The first day or two, it looks kind of like you can look like chicken pox, but the bumps can be really, really, really big and really, 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 really scary. All right. So the bumps can last between 2 and 4 weeks. And you're contagious with this rash until all of them shed. If you've ever had shingles or chicken pox, they crust up and they just kind of go away. You're contagious with this until all of them go completely away, right? So let's review what we got so far. It started in animals. You either ate some bad meat or you got scratched or you got bit, right? And now it went from an animal to the human. So that was transmitted that way. Then I can give it to another human because we've had very intimate contact. There may be sex, there may be intimacy, there may be cuddling, there may be kissing, there may be hugging, whatever it is. Or we were very close in verbal conversation where we had a lot of communication, where if I talk loud enough or yell, if I got, droplets got on you. Exposure. If you've been exposed, symptoms can start within 3 weeks. That's 21 days. That's a long time once you have been exposed. The symptoms are flu-like, fevers, chills, headaches, body aches, enlarged lymph nodes. Yes, you can get it from me, but usually that's how they've been getting it in the African continents. But I want to just give you the different ways in which you could get it. Flu-like illness, and then 1 to 4 days after you have that flu-like feeling, body aches, fatigue, you can have the rash. Rash can be in your genitals, rash can be in your anal region, and then you get it on your trunk, your face, your hands, your feet. Okay, so we got all that. Y'all good? The rash can last 2 to 4 weeks. Between 2 and 4 weeks, the rash can last. So the rash comes out and you're contagious. Yes, you're contagious. I'm gonna get there, Latressa. I haven't got there. So you're very contagious because you there can be like fluid-filled vesicles, just like we said about the chicken pox. So you're contagious until they all crust over and go away. Now let's have treatment. Treatment, there is, if you're mild, you have mild illness, you rest it out. You rest out at home, you take medicine for the symptoms. If I'm itching, you take something for itching. If you have a fever, you take something for having a fever. All of that. The question is, after the fever is gone, yes, you're still contagious until all of the bumps have gone away. Okay. So genetically, monkeypox is very similar to smallpox. So you would think the way that they made the smallpox vaccine, the treatments that they have for smallpox may be, similar in what we'll have for this. Mild treatment, you're going to support yourself through it, kind of like how we having to do with COVID. Severe treatment, they have a medicine called TPOXX, T-P-O-X-X. It's very hard to get. You can't just go like, I think I got monkeypox, can you just put me on this medicine? And it's tecovirimat, Tecovirimat, or for short, TPOXX. So there is a pill that you can take, but it's not readily accessible. So what do we do for prevention? We're going to be washing our hands and washing our hands and washing our hands as much as we can. You can wear gloves because, like somebody just said, if they were touching things, touching surfaces, laying on sheets, sitting in places, and you go right behind them, lay there, put your face on there, now you can get it from touching surfaces. You can get it from having sex. So if you've had sex with somebody who ends up having monkeypox in the last 2 weeks, you're highly, you've gotten a large bit of exposure from that. So prevention, we want to avoid skin-to-skin contact with someone if you know that they have a possibility of having monkeypox. If they've got a strange rash, but they're waiting on the results to come back, watch your very intimate contact, watch your talking close to each other. Y'all get y'all masks back out. Let's get our masks back out. I know the state says we don't need our masks, but COVID numbers are going up everywhere. Now we got monkeypox, and that's from droplets and being real close to people. Put your mask on, wear your gloves, because you can touch surfaces and get it that way. So how are we going to prevent getting it? Washing our hands, soap and water, or using an alcohol-based sanitizer, and watching our closeness. Again, we can do that 6 feet thing. So let's talk vaccine. I saw the question about the vaccine. So there is very limited vaccine supply because this has been around, but it's not been something that we needed mass production of. So lab workers, people that are actually in a lab and running the blood where you may be exposed to to monkeypox, those people would benefit from being vaccinated. Healthcare workers, those in the public health sector, there is not a vaccine for general population at this point in time, and it's not even a vaccine that they're saying, hey, every healthcare worker go get this vaccine. It's not out there like that, okay? So we are still just kind of watching out and about. So let's review. We're going to say, how do we recognize monkeypox, right? One, we're going to be wearing our mask. We're going to wash our hands and keep our hand sanitizer. Get your gloves if you're going to be out places, shopping, all that kind of stuff. How should we help our children go back to school, or does it affect children at this point? It affects anybody. Anybody coming into contact, they're at risk. So it's not like COVID was, in the beginning, like, oh, kids are spared. Remind your kids, review with your kids, wear your mask. Everybody in your class may not be wearing a mask, but you need to go back to wearing your mask. Wash your hands. Have them some hand sanitizer on their bag. Do those things. Wash hands, wear your mask. It's transmitted from very close, like skin-to-skin contact, So hopefully at school, kids won't be that so super close to each other that they be super exposed in that way. But for close dialogue, we need to be in our mask. Watching for, like I said, sex. And in the beginning, I do want to address this, you guys, that it was thought to be something that was a gay or bisexual male illness, and I think that they're kind of getting away from that. You never want to label illnesses in that regard, because this is something anyone can get. So I do not like that stereotype that kind of has been kind of going along with that, like, oh, I won't get it because that's not my sexual orientation. So be mindful. Be mindful of that. Anybody can get it at this point. The symptoms: flu-like illness, fever, chills, swollen lymph nodes, body aches, fatigue, similar to what we're seeing with the cold. The flu about to be here, similar to what we're seeing with COVID. So y'all go to the doctor. Don't be just treating ourselves online. I get calls all the time. I got a sinus infection. Just send me a Z-pad. No. You need to be tested. Come get your COVID test. So what do? We suspect that I got this new rash. Call your primary care doctor. Go in to see them. We're regularly getting information from the state. We're regularly getting information from the hospitals that we are in relationship with on where to send the test. If we suspect someone has monkeypox, how to do the test, where to send the test. But know that it can take a little while for the test to come back. So don't do like y'all do when you have been COVID exposed. I'm just gonna keep on going around until I get my results. Quarantine. If you think you have monkeypox, quarantine, like for real quarantine. In your room, close the door. We don't want to be touching all the same things. So you have those flu-like symptoms. 1 to 4 days afterwards, you're going to start seeing some bumps. They may be pimple-like, they may be pustules, they may be vesicles where you got fluid in them, or they may be really big with a dark, spot in the inside of them. They could be around the genitals, they could be around the anus, around the mouth, look like a herpes type 1 or cold sore, look like a herpes on your genitals, can be on your hands, can be on your feet. So if you got any of that, go call somebody. Call and let somebody look. The rash lasts 2 to 4 weeks, right? The rash is gonna last 2 to 4 weeks. You are contagious. Just because your fever broke does not mean that you are no longer contagious. You are contagious until all of the bumps shed. Correct. That's what they were saying. That we thought that it was only based off of, you could only get it if you were in the gay community. However, how many bisexual people do we know? How many undercover, on the down low people do we know? We don't know. We don't know who doing it, what if folks doing. So that makes it something that we all can get. Treatment, mild disease, you treat those symptoms. If we're itching, you treat that. Got a fever, you treat that like you would. But it's severe, there is T-pox, and it's in high demand. We will have to go through a process to get that. So yeah, hopefully they're gonna be mass producing some stuff, some shots, and some of this pill as well. And we have to just do our best at prevention, washing our hands as best we can, and wearing your gloves, get back in your mask. Does it look anything like hand, foot, and mouth? No, it does not look like hand, foot, and mouth. It looks more like chickenpox on crack. Chickenpox is like a little mild, little bumps. I've seen these bumps get really big. They got a dark clearing in the inside. So even if you have little kids and you are concerned, and you're concerned about it, call a pediatrician. I don't know how many active cases we have in Birmingham. I'm sure that what we see on the news may not even be an accurate number, because remember, testing is going to be delayed because we got to send tests off, and it's going to take us a little while to get those results back. It's not like a CBC or rapid COVID test where we're going to do the test and we're going to know really, really fast if we have it. This is going to be a test that's going to take some days. So if you suspect it, if you're like, man, it look like they got chickenpox, yeah, go to your room and quarantine. So vaccine is not readily available for everyone. This is usually something you would see veterinarians may stumble upon. However, remember, it originated from some animals, and usually in Africa, this is where we're seeing it. They may eat some infected meat, and then end up getting the monkeypox. Once you got it, now you can give it to human. We got human and human going on. So that's what I have about monkeypox. It's here in Alabama, but yes, it does look. It looks bad. But the concern is, yes, but by the time it looks really bad, y'all, that person probably have had it for how many weeks? You know, if your flu-like illness is going to be the beginning of your symptoms, you start to have a rash a couple of days later, and then you're going to have a rash for 2 to 4 weeks after that. By the time it looks really bad, That person has been sick a while. It's probably like, I can be out and about, I'll go to the store, I'll do this. No, please quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. If you think you've been exposed, quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. Let's see, do we have any other questions that I may be missing? Treat everybody like we have it. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. We talked about kids going back to school. We talked about who should get vaccinated. We talked about contagiousness. I think that's about it, y'all. So remember, we talked about the symptoms. Somebody write those down. Flu-like illness. I want to just drive that home. Flu-like illness, and 1 to 4 days later, you can get a rash. Could be your genitals, your anal region, your mouth, your face, your trunk, hands and feet. You got rash in any of those places, call somebody. We need to be tested. We can send out the test to local labs. Mild treatments, with the mild treatments, we can definitely support you through it, but it's gonna be rough because 4 weeks is a long time to have to kind of quarantine, right? Okay, y'all, so make sure to pass this word along. Let's get it, let's get it. Watch the replay. I hope you guys can hear me just well. This will also be shared with the plug radio station, so I'm not doing all of my usual hay and buys. Yes, it can look like shingles, but it is, they're more round. They're not so shingles just affects one part. This, you're gonna have bumps over here, bumps over there, bumps on both sides of your body. Shingles usually only affects you on one side. So this is, you can't really liken it to shingles. Like I said, it's like chickenpox on crack or shingles on crack. Let's see. Yes, call first. That's a good point. Do not just show up to any provider thinking, saying, oh, I think I got monkeypox and I'm just gonna walk in. No, call first, because remember, you are very contagious. You're gonna get everybody in that office sick, everybody in there waiting sick, everybody. And just because it's mild for you does not mean it's gonna be mild for grandmama. Does not gonna mean it's mild for uncle who got leukemia, or Aunt Sally who's got COPD. So we do have high-risk people. Please call first, email. You can spray disinfectant spray. I have not heard that kills this monkeypox. I have not heard that, but I would just assume that because they're saying, all I've seen is wash your hands with soap and water and alcohol-based hand sanitizer. I've not seen anything about Lysol or anything at this point. So you got rash for 2 days. Let's see. No, it can be any of those symptoms. It can be a painful rash. It can be painless rash. It could be itchy rash. People have described all of those, so it's not one or the other. Yes, keep bleach on hand. Go back to start buying the Clorox wipes. Go back to getting in your mask. So yes, it may or may not be painful. All right, I don't want to keep y'all long. I am 5 minutes over my time because I don't want to keep y'all long. So what I promise to do is let's get back in at least another couple of weeks, because I'm sure this is going to be like COVID. Remember, we talked a whole lot during COVID. When COVID first got here, we were talking about what we learned and what the changes were. I'm going to promise to be studying up on it. If there are a lot of changes, if anything is being recommended, I promise to come back on. Could an extreme case require hospitalization? Yes. That would be for people who have weakened immune systems, may have cancer already, may have underlying conditions. They can be sick enough to go into the hospital. Let's see. I think that's it. I'm Dr. Cree. I'm your board certified family medicine physician. I specialize in helping everyday overwhelmed. I'm so tired of all of this craziness. People learn to live a healthy, happy, whole life. I'm a board certified family medicine physician at Brownstone Healthcare in Birmingham, Alabama. To learn more about us, go to www.brownstonehealthcare.com. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'll be checking this post back. If you have more questions, just drop them in the chat, and then I'll be checking them as we go. Bye.